Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. I'm going up to visit my mom today. She's got a condition called vertigo, and it's quite unpleasant. You've probably heard of it. It seems to be improving, but I'm going to go up and help her make some meals and do some housework and hang out with her. So today's topic is what to do during crazy times. Right now, it's the end of February in 2020, and it's this coronavirus. It originated in China, seems to have got to a couple of other countries. It may get to the U.S. It's kind of remains to be seen. The stock market has dropped tremendously in the last week. There's a lot of probably panic in parts of the world, and panic is starting to spread. So that's what I mean about a crazy time. I think what you want to do is, in these crazy times, focus even more of your effort on you and your immediate surroundings. Don't get caught up in all the craziness. If you're concerned at all about the coronavirus, you would have a couple of weeks of food and a couple of weeks of water. I already have that, right? I did that last year when I moved to my new place. That's one of the first things I did, was set up a couple of weeks of food and a couple of weeks of water. You never know, right? You never know. Whatever. That way, I'm always prepared for that. Now, look, there's a couple of other things I probably should add to that. Maybe like toilet paper, maybe some mild cleaning products. I'm getting, actually, it'll be a year and a couple of months, so you'll have to look at all that stuff and see if it's still good after a year. A lot of it was canned good, but some of it was box goods. Maybe the box stuff I'll use, replace it with new, if there's any left, right? So you want to get ahead of the stores emptying, and I don't think they're going to empty. It seems right now, this moment, it's not panic time here in the U.S., but you still want to focus inward, right? So let's say, take care of yourself, take care of the immediate people around you, make sure everybody immediately around you is okay. And that's why I'm going to go visit my mom, to make sure she's okay. People have always gotten this vertigo. This isn't a coronavirus thing, but she is old, right? So sometimes you need a little bit of tending from the younger people. Focus inward. Always you. Always focus on the good. Be positive. Don't be negative. Probably. This coronavirus thing, it does point to a general craziness in the world of how things are so intertwined with other countries when they don't need to be, right? There's no need for us to buy one thing from China. There's no need for us to sell one thing to China, right? It's kind of stupid when you think about it. Everything we have, everything we need is here. Everything they need is there. There's no need to import or export anything. So the people who kind of want to draw inward, I think, are totally right, that we should be condensing and consolidating our power inward, and that starts with you consolidating your power inward. What are you doing to make you be healthy, happy, abundant, able to absorb punishment? So let's say you do get sick. If you're healthy, big, strong, plenty of muscle, vigorous in general, aren't you going to be able to withstand an illness? If you're frail, weak, undernourished, no muscle, aren't you going to suffer? So that's how I deal with the crazy times, is consolidate in, you. What are you doing for your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, and your closest friends? All right, those are the people you got to draw to. You got to make sure they're fine, and make sure start with you, work on them. Right? I'm continually checking up on my 2 kids. They're adult kids, but I'm checking in on them to make sure that they're still doing fine. Right? Always checking to make sure they're doing fine. And sometimes you got to probe. Some people, you'll ask them if they're doing fine. They'll say yes, they're fine, but they're really not. So that's why you want to get to know your closest people, know them well, and ask the right questions, and better yet, observe them by getting together, right? Getting together with them and observing them and seeing if they're fine. Just like you would observe yourself. When you don't feel well, you should be observing yourself and trying to figure out what it is that's making you not feel well. So, like I said, I'm continually trying to do things to improve my life and make me healthy, happy, and abundant, wise, and all of that, right? All of that stuff is good for me. It's good for the people around me, and I think I'm doing it a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with things. I think if men in general would do that, the world would get to be a better place. If you see people going, getting wild and crazy about things, well, how is that going to help, right? Keep calm, take care of the stuff immediately in front of you. That's when the crazy times happen. The only thing you have is yourself, right? You got to rely on yourself, and then you'll get some help from other people, but you want to heavily rely on yourself. You be the rock, right? You have enough food for yourself. You're not going to run out and have to steal a bunch of food, right? You'll be able to offer some shelter for people if they need it. You're going to be checking up on the people closest to you to make sure they're fine, and then generally just push ahead doing your normal. Now, there are some precautions you could take to let's say, better withstand a crazy time. If you don't have to go overseas, maybe don't do that, right? When you think about it, there's really not a reason to go over there other than the tourist idea. So, I was kind of thinking about taking a trip, actually. I was going to go to Southeast Asia and have a nice winter trip over there in February, but I didn't. I wanted to focus on taking care of some other financial needs, and by focusing on those financial needs, it was apparent that spending a lot of money, having a great time, I shouldn't do that, right? So I didn't. It worked out pretty good for me that I wasn't stranded in some airport, 5,000 miles away. Just continue to go to work, make an income, pay my bills, and watch out for the people closest to me and myself. Give those ideas some thought. I think we'll get through these crazy times. If you think about it, there's been some enormously crazy times, and we've always got through it. And yes, some people are going to suffer. Some people are going to take a good beating in various ways. Some people may even die, right? But we're all dying anyway. We're all, until you get yourself built up to a higher level, you're going to take a beating. Like when I was married, I was at a low level. I was taking a verbal beating almost on a daily basis, eroding my self-confidence and self-esteem and how I felt about myself. So, I wasn't, let's say, strong enough to leave her, to get out of those crazy times until I was. And then I did leave her, and I became strong enough to leave. You want to be strong, powerful, with it, in control of yourself and your life, and then you'll be able to withstand these crazy times. So give that idea some thought. Have a good weekend. Prepare yourself. The crazy times come, the crazy times go. It just pays to prepare yourself to be as strong and to have a little bit of a backup, right? A health reserve, a food reserve, a water reserve, or whatever reserve that you need to kind of get through the crazy times. All for now.